morning, student. I am Manish Pandey from IPM Public School. Today, I am going to teach you chapter number 14 of SST, economic around activities around us. Actually, this chapter I explained before three economic sector, primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Now, today I am going to tell you about interaction among primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. This is the point which I am going to explain you. So, understanding how these sectors interact and support one another is very important. So, actually, they are interrelated with each other. Without help of each other, they cannot do any activity. Okay, in any sector, we cannot perform any activity. Let us take an example of dairy industry. Now we will take example of dairy industry that provides a clear illustration of how these three sectors interconnected and support each other. Actually, in primary sector, farmers are raising cows, buffaloes, and goats, and they are getting milk. And in secondary sector, milk is being processed, and they factories are making milk powder, packed milk, and through the transportation, it is reaching up to the consumer. The products processing and distribution of dairy products to consumer are happening in secondary sector. Primary sector dairy farming. So in primary sector, in primary sector, dairy farming. Okay. The primary sector involves the extraction and harvesting of natural resources. So in primary sector, we are extracting and harvesting. Here we are extracting and harvesting in primary sector. In the dairy industry, this sector is represented by dairy farming. Farmers raise cattle for milk production. So some farmers are raising cows, some farmers are raising buffaloes, some farmers are raising goats for their milk. Okay, they want to produce milk. They want to get large amount of milk and they want to sell in the market, and in this way they will earn money. However, the seemingly straightforward process of collecting and selling milk to dairies was not always easy. So actually, farmers are not getting factored in their village itself. They have to cover long distance, and they had to go in their neighboring villages, and they had to sell their milk there. So it will take toil on them, and it will take, they have to cover long distances. So time will be consuming up. Okay, so they were suffering, all the farmers were suffering. They were not able to sell their milk in nearby. Okay, so they had to cover a lot of distances for that. They would sell milk to neighboring villages, often having to travel long distances under the scorching sun. This led to milk spoiling frequently. So they faced they face this problem very frequently because in the scorching sun they had to travel and they are getting born back. Okay, so that is why it was very very difficult now. The formation of Amul. So Dr. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Moraji Desai. Dr. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was freedom fighter and he was taking part in India's independence struggle, and Moraji Desai was a local person. So they thought a plan for the farmers. What was their plan? The formation of Amul. The formation of Amul. Actually, Amul is milk processing factory. Okay. The turning point came. So it was turning point for the farmer. When Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a prominent leader in India's independence movement, and Moraji Desai, a local leader, suggested that farmers organize themselves into a cooperative. So they suggested, those leaders suggested the farmers to form a cooperative. Yourself and form a cooperative. The cooperative would allow them to bypass the middlemen, so they would not use middlemen who were taking their milk at very low price and selling in the market at a very high price. So they suggested both the leaders suggested the farmers, don't take help of middlemen. Just try to sell your milk through the cooperatives you will form. The farmers of Anand were inspired by the idea. So farmers thought that this idea would benefit them, and under the leadership of Tribhuvan Das Patel formed the Kandra District Corporation Milk Production Union Limited in 1946. which later became known as Amul. In 1946, they formed one cooperative which changed its name to Amul. Amul was known by different name. Okay, so in 1946, the corporate name was changed to Amul. Dr. Verghese Kurien, often referred to as the father of the White Revolution. White Revolution is strange, just keep this thing in your mind that White Revolution is related to milk production. It can be your GK question. A visionary and an engineer by training, Dr. Kurien was instrumental in transforming Amul from a small cooperative into a robust organization. So Dr. Verghese Kurien was by profession an engineer. So he was responsible for changing the areas farmers face. Okay, that could compete with established market players. So some other milk production companies were there, so Amul was competing with them. His approach was centered around empowering farmers. So he was by nature very farmers friendly, and they wanted to give farmers milk. They wanted that in his areas farmer would go in the market and they should receive very handsome money for their milk. Now, farmers could decide how to collect, process, and distribute their milk. Now, everything depended on farmers. They will collect, they will process, and they will produce the milk. The change significantly improved their income. So now they are getting a higher price of their milk and reduce their reliance on middlemen. So middlemen now was not there. The cooperative model empowered farmers, allowing them to work together as a community, share responsibilities and make collective decisions about their operations. So now farmers were working together and they were taking decisions on their own. They were not dependent on any middleman or any other person who was taking advantage of their situation. Farmers were now feeling free and they can take their own decision and they can be benefited. Secondary sector, processing the milk. So in now we saw that how in primary sector milk is being produced. Now in secondary sector how it is processed. Secondary sector, processing of the milk. Processing of the milk. Okay. So now in secondary sector, milk processing is being done. Okay, how it is being done? After the milk is collected, so when milk is collected, it goes through processing, which is part of the secondary sector. The processing is part of the secondary sector. At Amul, the milk is processed into a variety of products, such as butter. So butter is made from milk, cheese is made from milk, ghee is made from milk, and milk powder is also made from milk. To handle this processing, the cooperatives set up factories. So these cooperatives now were able to set up factories for all these productions. In Anand, by producing a wide range of dairy products, Amul not only increased its income but also provided companies with many options, consumers with many options. Now, consumers will have a lot of options. They can choose their best option and they can go for that. The processing of milk is essential because it extends the shelf life of the product. One important method used in processing is pasteurization. Actually, what is pasteurization? Which involves heating the milk to kill harmful bacteria. So, pasteurization is something like that. Heat the milk at particular temperature so that all the germs and bacteria should kill and milk will be pure. Okay. The factory also creates jobs for many people in community, contributing to the local economy. The success of the processing operation allow Amuls to maintain high standards of quality and safety in its product. So Amul, product of Amul is very of high quality, ensuring that consumer service fresh and receives fresh and nutritious dairy items. So